recording on this. And again, I can't see you. Nobody can see you. Anyway, so what I'm about to do is I'm going to show you. I just set up 3 cameras, and you can see, right? You can see the camera view change, at least for where I'm at, right?
Right.
So here's my desk. This is where I'll be, and then I'm going to go outside, and then I'm going to go up on the roof, and I'm going to show you essentially how my software works. And you feel free to ask me questions. As a Spectora user, you are my target market, if I'm being honest, because I can actually import your template almost perfectly, and get you, and once. Now, I do want to preface this whole thing, Todd. I am not ready to sell you software today.
Yeah, that's understandable. Okay? I got you.
I am at the very least, I am 2 months away. At the very most, I'm 4 months away.
Yeah, so, that's cool. That's cool.
Okay.
Let me ask you something. Do you have a second, or are you trying to
Absolutely.
get ready to do? So no. one enormous thing that I don't care about the dashboard or all the add-on stuff. What matters to me are the nuts and bolts of the thing, and one of them is the template concept. I keep telling people it needs to be object oriented, where you have you have inheritance, and that if you have a roof, if you have 2 different types of roofs, you don't have to keep duplicating comments, that you have a parent type of a relationship. It's more of an object oriented type of an approach. Have you addressed any of that, or you know what I'm talking about?
I think I understand. I'll just see if I do. So I feel like it's similar to what I've been wanting for a really long time from Spectora, which is I always told them that the comments, like the deficiency comments, should be their own separate template, and then that template could be, married to any other, like kind of a skeleton template that would be just your information stuff.
Okay.
So something similar that's what I've been thinking about wanting to do, is change the template structure so that you would have a deficiency template that would basically just plug into whatever. And here, I'll just show you here's my template system. And you can see I've imported, these are my Spectora templates. But this is the one that I've adapted to ReportON, because ReportON has more options than Spectora gives you. You can create as many categories as you want. You can create as many priority levels as you want.
Okay, that sounds promising. That's a good start.
Your grid options can be automated. If you go through and separate all of your comments into the right categories, and then you can tell it that once a comment in this area is checked, then highlight this box. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I was going to just say that. That's correct. And what you're kind of touching on it a little bit is it's more of a relational database type of situation, where you have relationships between things. So yeah, that's one of those. Yeah.
So that's an improvement over what Spectora has at this time. Just being able to have, like I said, as many categories, as many of comment types as you want. This is our template editor. It's very, very similar in function to what you would be used to. you have your sections, items, and then comments, right?
Okay, so here's in a nutshell what the biggest problem that I have is that their template system isn't really truly a good system, because let's say that you have a new construction template and a single family residence template. Right now, that means that I have to duplicate, like if I have a roof section, I have to manually, if I keep, let's say I have a new observation, a new defect, whatever, for let's say I want to add something to an asphalt roof. That means I have to go through every template that uses that.
Yes.
And that's insanity. That's just a toy.
That is the problem that I want to solve with the system I just described, where all of your comments live in its own template, and you only update that one template for any deficiencies. And then all of the, right, so you've got, here, I'll just kind of show you. So like in my comment area, or the way my template works is I've got one item area that has all of my information comments in it. And then every other comment or every other item box here is just a container for my deficiency comments. Okay. So that's just how mine works. You can set it up any way you want. But so when I go in here, if this was the way that I wanted it, this template would only have just the informations and limitation comment levels available in it. And then we're going to build a system build it so that you can create a template that has just deficiency comments, and then within that you'll be able to tag them essentially, so that like each comment would be able to have a tag so that it would attach to only certain templates. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So like, say if you had commercial comments only, you don't want those loading into your residential templates. So you'll tag the comment with what you templates you want it to attach to.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
So that's not here yet. That's a future thing that we're going to do later this year. So the way, as you can see though, like I can label these whatever I want. So I've got information, limitations, information only, and then problems. And then my problems contain, various levels of comments, and you can have as many of these priority levels as you want. You can, custom icons, do all that stuff. You can do all of the same things that you can in Spectora, except for on ours, you can actually add multiple recommendations. So if you wanted 2 different types of contractors recommended on a comment, you can do that. And then also we can, you can actually, if you want to, not on the comment level itself, but in the template area, you can go in and create. Oh, I'm sorry, wait. Nope, it's on the system level. I always forget that. So on the system settings, you can go in and create your own recommendations if you want, your own contractors, and they have their own descriptions and everything. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then you can go in, you can edit, go in and edit these and all that. So
another thing that I'm actually pretty flexible. There's just a certain basic set of features that I really need that to, and everything in Spectora, I was like, yeah, this is all, I really use 100% of its functionality. But I want to share one thing with you that I found a huge frustration. I had a couple agents say, "Oh, I don't like your report." This was back when I started using Spectora, and I said, "What? This is considered state of the art. I mean, this is like the best." And I was like, and she goes, "Well, I don't want to read all that." And I was like, "What do you mean?" I said, "There's a summary. It tells you what." And she's like, "No, I don't want to read all that." And so what I figured out after a long time of this is I actually manually create my own summary at the very top of the report. So what I do is I take all what I call major findings. Used to call them major defects. I call them major findings now, or major observations, something like that. I'm really careful not to say defect, but I collect, and I only report these things that match in our Alabama's contract, real estate contract. There's a clause 4A that says, look, we're going to only request the buyer fix things that affect health, safety, and, major issues such as structural, that can affect. It's very concise legal language that basically limits it to stuff like, a foundation, a dangerous staircase. It's a very limited set of defects, and that's all the agents care about. And so I collapse that down by, I prioritize things to that level, and then I write this little summary that goes at the very top. I have to manually do this. And what I ought to share my template with you. And I actually shared this with Kevin Wagstaff, Wagstaff, is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, Wagstaff. Yep.
I actually showed him and went back and forth with him, and he just kind of pooed it. But
can you send it to me?
Absolutely. But so what?
Because I could show you what it would look like on my system, actually.
Okay.
When you get it, doesn't have to be today.
I guess I got so much pent up frustration. I just want to get this off my chest and not to waste any more of your time, because if you're
not wasting any of my time, trust me, Todd.
So the observations in the blocks in Spectora that actually have the observations in it. This is what I think the agents in my area were complaining about, is that they didn't want to read anything in that. If they see a picture, they just want to know as fast as possible what this problem is, what to do about it. So what I did is I put at the very top of all those observational notes is I made a 1-sentence description in bold that said, for instance, roof covering has major granule loss and should be evaluated by a roofer. Okay, something to that effect. Okay, so it's just a 1-sentence in bold, tells you exactly what it is and what you should do about it. And then below it in italics is I put optional notes that are specific to that particular thing. That's just a blank field. And then below it is my boilerplate text, where I will, if people want to read more about it, it's just there. But I found that sentence at the very top, and carefully writing that sentence, I then go through all my major, I use the Spectora's cut and paste feature, filtered by that highest severity level. I paste that into an editor, and then edit it so that I've got a HTML formatted. So then I put it at the very top of the report as a summary. So basically what it does is it lists all these 1-sentence descriptions of all the major defects in it. And I've had agents say, whatever you do, don't ever change that. We don't have anybody doing that. It tells me exactly what I need to know so fast. And so I'm going to share that with you, because I swear by it. And no one's doing it.
Are
And I
you
just,
so are you saying like you're taking just to make sure I'm kind of hearing you correctly, are you saying you're taking a like on a deficiency comment? Um, are you saying you're putting that sentence in the title and then you're putting your like a description or a custom description or whatever in the text box?
something like if you text me or shoot me, I can email you one of the Spectora sample reports that I'll just share it with you, so I'm not wasting any more of your time. I just wanted to.
Okay.
I feel so strongly about this that I actually would not use any software that didn't allow me to easily do this. I mean, right now I'm having to spend a bunch of. Once you see it, I think you'll be like, either you're going to be like, yeah, I'm on board with
You want me
that,
to
or you'll be like Kevin that said, it's too much work and we don't need it. We really don't care about that. He's literally just, I'm like, seriously? I mean, your summary sucks. And he's like, well, you can filter it by, I was like, that's not helping the problem. I mean, they don't want to read through all those boxes. They want they need it in a faster, more concise. I mean, this is based off of actually people telling me, "Oh, I don't like to use you because of this," and I'm so frustrated with this.
I hear you. How long have you been using Spectora? Just out of curious.
Probably 4 years.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm like
And
6. So what's your email address, Todd?
It's Todd, TODD at integrainspect.com. And I'll shoot you over a report. And I don't mean to sidetrack you at all. I just want to I'm so excited to share that.
Oh no, I appreciate it very much. The conversation's great.
If I could have any, I mean, if you looked at that and go, actually, I kind of like such and such, you want to use any of that? I mean, I honestly wish I could have partnered with other guys and just been a co-developer and just, help write code and crap. I mean, it's just so much work. And I am barely surviving, just trying to keep up with the amount of work that we have as a business. It's just, I mean, we're slammed. I mean, which is a good problem.
How many, do you have other inspectors?
No, I'm working, I get up at 5:30, go to bed at 11:30 every night, and it's almost 100% work. Yeah.
Hold on just one second. I'll send you this email. You could actually share it to me in Spectora if you wanted to.
Okay.
And then I could just download it. Are you near a computer right now? Just out of curiosity.
I'm on a phone, but I'm just a few seconds away from a computer. If you give me a second. Do you mean share the template?
Right. You know how to do that in.
Yeah, I do. I think it would be better for you to actually see the report versus the template doesn't have. I have to do a bunch of manual stuff to make this. I just want to.
I just shot you an email.
Oh, okay. I'm interested to see your reaction with this. And it's okay if you come back and say it's not for me, but in my market, I had to interactively develop this because of, feedback I got from other agents. And I think what Kevin doesn't understand and what the Gromyko brothers don't understand is what works for them doesn't necessarily work in this market here. It's very okay. Hey, Daylan, I got I'm going to reply to this. You may say this is a nothing burger. I don't know. Look, I'll tell you what. I don't want to use one of my canned sample reports because a couple of them are out of date. If I send you one from an actual client, can you just keep it confidential?
Absolutely.
Just throw it out. Okay. I'll send you one here that's recent, but it's actually a real one. Just let me pull one up here. And I appreciate you letting me get you off your. I kind of hijacked you, and I'm.
No, you didn't. I just am just now putting this out. Like even talking about this, I've been working on this for almost 2 years now. So, I'm just now getting to talk about it. It's very exciting for me. You're not hijacking anything. I appreciate the conversation. It was a blessing in disguise, I guess, because I didn't expect you to pop in.
No, I'm actually super stoked too. I'm very interested, but
What I'm going to be doing, just so you know, next week. Oh, sorry, I cut you off.
Yep.
Next week I'm going to have my production site up, and I'll have. Do you know what a Kickstarter is?
Yeah.
So I'm going to be running a Kickstarter to try and generate some initial extra capital so that and sell software at a big discount, and then but hopefully get some extra initial capital coming in because I'd like to hire an extra developer to speed things up.
Yeah. What kind of what code are you writing it in? What languages?
So it's a React.
Oh, not familiar with that.
It's the code that Facebook created.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not conversant in that. I wrote C and C plus and Java and Python and some. I mean, all this web based stuff. I'm not as up on, but I mean, it all can be learned, but there's a learning curve with that, and then like anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Huh. I responded to you.
I got your email. I'm trying to open it, but it's telling me that they're having problems loading the data.
What's it saying specifically?
It's giving me an error. It says we're having a problem loading the data.
Oh, that's interesting.
Please try again.
Oh, I wonder if their stuff just went down. Let me try opening it again here. It came right up.
Let me put the link in a Chrome. What happens?
Wonder if their servers having a fit. I'll look at their dashboard and see what they're.
Oh, here we go. Okay, I got it pulled up. I put it in Chrome. So. All right, inspection summary. Oh, that's pretty snazzy. Okay, I see that. I see how you're doing all that. Yep. That's cool, man. Mine is I have here, I'll show you. This is what my report looks like.
Hey, Daylan, is there any way I can view this, do this web interaction on Windows PC?
Yeah, absolutely. You just click on that link. It's a Google Meet. So if you just click on that link on your computer, you can log off on your phone and then or log in on a computer. No problem.
I'm just trying to figure out how to get that link on the PC.
Do you have Facebook on your laptop?
I don't.
Or how did you get the link? Did you find it on Facebook?
Yeah, I found it on Facebook on the phone, but I don't do that stuff. Well, hang on. I apologize. It's been a long week. Yeah, I have Facebook up here on the PC.
Okay.
So
I can I can email you the link if you want that again.
Yeah, can you do that?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. I'd love to see more of your page. I guess where I was going with that whole summary thing is I need more control over the way that we display information to agents. They keep saying, dude, you keep dropping these 80-page and 100-page reports on us. I said, what are you talking about? And this, well, they all use PDFs. And, you know, Kevin's like, I was complaining that, dude, Spectora's PDFs, the formatting, it looks horrible and it's ridiculous. And he goes, oh yeah, we don't really put any effort into it because no one uses them. I was like, well, they do in this market here. They all print it out and they waste like enormous amounts of ink printing. I said, you guys have to have a better. He goes, well, just collapse it down to the summary and print that out. And I said, that's not how they do it. I mean, that's
no,
what
the
you
PDF.
guys.
Everybody has complained about the PDF since like literally the beginning. It's they like you said, they don't care about it. They don't care about the app either.
Yeah, they don't.
Honestly, that's from my perspective. I don't want to, you know, I like Michael and Kevin very much. They're friends of mine. I just we have different views on what you know, where the focus should be really going.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. Honestly, Spectora, it looks pretty, but when you know, like the information tabs and all, it is not well formatted. It does not look good.
All right, so here's my report, and see, I have a big kind of inspection decoder ring that it's like, you know, I have like all these reasonable expectations and, you know, what do the circles mean and all that stuff. So I kind of have a similar thing on mine where gives the client a bunch of information before they even get into the report.
Wow, you've done an enormous amount of work, dude. I have to tip my hat to you. I don't know where you must not sleep. That looks awesome.
I am not a coder. I'm not a developer.
Oh, okay.
I'm a home inspector, bro. I have a development team. They're in Mexico.
Wow.
And
you did it. You're my hero, man. You actually bit it off and did it. That's awesome.
It's a lot. There's not everything is functional, you know, 100%, but there is a lot here that is. And, you know, I'm pretty proud of it.
Looks good.
So here's the appointment detail page. We're actually doing what's called a refactor on this right now. So everything, like all of some of the buttons, you know, like this button, some of the buttons are disabled because he hasn't gone through. He's going through, and so my web guy is basically going through, cleaning up the code, modernizing it, making it scalable, so that, you know, we can take on 500 all the way up to, you know, 20,000 users, whatever. So that's the goal of what we're doing right now. And so essentially you can see everything and it's usable, but there are certain things on this page that don't function. He just finished up the reports area. So now I can, you know, go in and here's you know, you can actually edit the report on the web just like you can, or similarly to the mobile. You can, there's a review section online. You can see the sync, you know, the sync list, and then there's also a note section in our app too. Anyway,
that looks really good.
What do you want to see? I mean, is there anything you're curious about that you'd like to see, or do you want me to would you be interested in me just kind of going through it? How about, would you? Here's an interesting thing. Would you be interested in letting me show you my template importer?
Sure. Yeah.
Because that's something I'm pretty proud of as a Spectora user. I'm pretty proud of how quickly we can onboard somebody. If you have a chance, shoot me over your template to that email address. And while you're working, I'll just I'll show you a few highlight things. I can even show you the app and stuff without necessarily going up on the roof. But here, our dashboard is pretty similar to most. We have an update center where I'm putting up what's going on in development. Every single page has this button up here at the top, which is your scheduling button. So you can be literally anywhere in the software. And if a client calls, you can plug in a new appointment.
That's nice.
I also have that feature if you're a single operator guy like I am, right? And you're out doing an inspection and say, I'm in this is always when it happens for me is when I'm in an attic or a crawl space. And so
that's exactly.
Isn't that the truth?
Oh gosh, yeah. Everybody wants something as soon as you get in the crawl space and you can't touch the phone, you're like levitating over the sewage and yeah.
Yep. So say, right, you can actually see up on the screen that I'm in my go ahead.
I was trying to share,
you're doing the template thing. Sorry, go ahead.
I was sharing the template with you and it said no inspector found. Do you have a different email address?
Oh, yes. Yeah, that if you're going to share it to Daylan, Daylan.
LAN?
LAN.
Oh, okay.
Daylan.
Okay.
At Sentry Inspecting, SENTRY inspecting.com.
Where are you based out of, Daylan?
Arizona.
Okay.
Near Sedona.
So those attics, I'm sure, are nice and comfortable up there.
Woo! They get toasty in the summertime, that's for sure.
Yeah. Tell me about it. Okay, I just shared it with you. Go ahead.
You drinking a beer?
No, it's a Diet Pepsi. That's all I'm doing. I just sit there and drinking these
I was
all
like,
day.
man, I'd love to be having a beer right now.
I bring them on inspections.
All right, let me go in here and grab that. Thank you for trusting me enough to do that. I assure you I won't, I'm not. What's the name of your template?
That is new build SFR. That's a single family residence. So that's another example of what my where I was coming from. So that is just, you've already addressed this and you've fixed it, but it's you have to duplicate everything. And this is just for a new build. So I just basically manipulated it because a lot of the new builds here, for instance, are all little houses on a slab in a subdivision that are all vinyl and brick veneer, so you can kind of pre-click a bunch of stuff to make it faster. And you've already addressed it in the way you're doing it. So that we're golden there. But
we've tried to smooth out some of the pain points, that are in some of the software that's out there already. Okay, so I've got your stuff. So here we've got the same options. We don't have a template store. I'm going to be hiding that, but you can start from scratch, create a brand new one from scratch. You can clone from another template that you have already, or you can import from another software. So I'll go ahead and grab your template.
Does it handle all the embedded stuff like the pictures and hyperlinks and stuff? Typically,
yes. Okay. Let's see what it's it can be different for each one. So, so you can see, keeps your name. It labels it like with Spectora, so you know the date and the inspection software that you imported it from. The friendly name, and you can see these are similar to what you're used to seeing, right? On Spectora,
Mhm.
you've got your template name and then your friendly name. Categories, like I said, we can go in. Everything's going to stay because Spectora has some limitations. So if we were to just click next, it would, you can go in and see now. Here's all of your sections. But if you wanted to, you could go in and edit all of the template settings before you even import. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So for time's sake, what we're doing here, I'm going to go ahead and hit submit.
While it's converting, you said the Kickstarter, you're starting a Kickstarter to help fund getting another developer, is that?
Yes. Okay, so here's your template, right? Let's jump in and let's see what it did. Okay. Oh, okay, so end of inspection checklist, inspection details. If you want to, so here's like, we kept all your text intact. Do you have a specific one that you could tell me, like, has a picture or something, a hyperlink?
Yeah, sure. Give me a second. Go to roof section, asphalt shingle, and yeah, asphalt shingle, and let's see. I'm trying to find one that has a trying to find one that,
I mean, if you look at this, your stuff came over pretty reliably. I've even got, we've even brought over the recommendations with it.
I know one, for instance, off the top. Go to a built-in appliances, range, cooktop, and oven, and then that missing any tip bracket. That'll have an embedded picture.
Oh yeah, everybody has one of those little pictures of the little fork.
I mean, we're probably all think the same, but
that one in the high loop, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see, ineffective tip. There we go.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Okay, that worked great. So okay. That's awesome. Okay. Well, I have to admit that's big. I mean, you conquered that. So
yeah.
Wow.
So that's that shows you, because to even conceive of switching a software platform, the template alone keeps people locked in. Like they'll go on and be unhappy for years.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to redo that. And so that was.
Yeah. I mean, it would take what? I mean, 2,000 hours to redo that. I mean, it's insane.
Oh my God. It's a living document, man.
Oh, it's
a living document.
At least so, I do export it and save it off. It's a it's a spreadsheet, comma separated file, a CSV file and stuff. So I do archive those locally, but I'm like, oh God, please do not make me ever have to change, redo this thing. I would commit suicide before I did that. I mean, no. Oh,
I get it. And that's why I made that. That's why I made that importer so easy.
Robust.
Another thing that's really cool about our template system is you can search, right? So we can search for like water damage.
Oh, that's cool.
And then, you just like in in mobile search, you can filter it. So I can go global search and now apply filters. and here's all your, stuff that has water damage.
That's cool.
That makes manipulating your template, way easier. If you ever, whenever you got to do, I've revised my template format probably 3 times in the last 6 years, where it was a major overhaul because I came up with some new idea, and I spent 100 hours redoing all of my comment structures and how it laid out. So that's another thing that's very simple with us.
What you're saying is you can do a like a global replace type of a thing. Is that?
Yeah. Or, or I can select multiple comments and then, manipulate them all at one time. You can move them from template to template. You can move them, within the template, and then into a specific, type of. So if you wanted to move an information comment to the deficiencies, you can.
Oh, wow. That's cool. Yeah. Hey, now, did you say you just had the little poll down there that had the deficiencies, limitations, and observation? You had 3 different levels. I'm not sure what you call them, but categories. Yeah. Can you have additional categories? You can have additional ones.
As many as you want.
That's cool. Really, because I think you said that earlier. That's really neat.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I think you've conquered a lot of the stuff that I hated, and I was like, but you had the balls to go off and actually hire some people to do it, and I just sit and bitched about it.
Trust me, I was literally one of the first Spectora people when they were in beta. There are actual functions within the app that are my idea. And the reason I know they're my idea is because I was talking to Michael and Kevin directly. And I would message Michael and I'd say, hey man, I'm out in the field. What if you did this? And he'd say, and the one I know for sure was mine was actually the delete button, the little trash can. I said, hey man, I'd really like to be able to delete comments in the field. And
yeah,
he said, and I'm not saying it was only my idea, but I told him about it in the morning, and in the afternoon he said, hey dude, do an app refresh. And I was like, what? There it was. And he gave me a button, and that's the way it was in the early days.
Right.
And I get that they are, they've scaled up and everything's changed, but I also, after getting into the software world myself, I do realize 2 things. One, it is more difficult than it seems from the outside to do these things. But the second is everything is changeable. I mean, if you can dream it up, they can make it for you. So you just have to give them enough direction.
Well, that part of the problem you hit on without even saying it is that, this is designed by, he was an agent. I mean, having a guy that actually uses this stuff for a living, you're going to have a different perspective over it. And it's, and I don't, he was an agent for what, 2 years? It's like, you got to have perspective as someone that's been doing it for 20 years. And that, I don't know. I just,
this is the thing that I have put most of my energy into, honestly, Todd, is the app, because the app is it's the thing that I stare at for hours every day,
right?
But it rarely gets real improvement.
Yeah. And so you're going to offer it for Android and iOS, right?
Absolutely. I could even show you an Android device on the screen right now. Everything is all the same. It's all compatible.
Now, can I ask a quick question before you go on? I have to admit, one thing that they do really well, and I was thinking about this yesterday, that if you ever had an inspection crash, like you lost it, how catastrophic. I mean, that is, you just can't ever have that happen. And
Right.
They haven't let me down. The syncing, I'll tell you now. I know that the next gen thing is kind of screwing the pooch a little bit on that, but they have never lost data. And the AWS stuff that they're using it's robust, fast.
We're all on the same stuff.
Okay. Good.
The syncing though, I will say my syncing is it's not where I want it. It's not that it we have some work to do on that arena. And you'll see it when I show it to you. But there's multiple reasons for that. Part of it's because of the back end. We're doing a bunch of work right now, so things are like halfway done. So the syncing, I'm gonna make syncing live sync. It's gonna we already have the plan in place. We have the way that we're gonna do it as far as not just the idea like, oh, I want things to happen in live time, but we actually have the technology, chosen to be able to implement it. That's what I mean. So the technology is understood. We have it. It's going to be super cool. It's just not, it's one of those things that's down the line because I've got to get other things working right now.
But that attention, you know as well as I do, we can't ever lose data, and
No.
you're on that. So
okay. It's everything is locked, just like Spectora though. And like you said, they've never lost you anything. Everything is locked in the device until it's synced. So you'll never lose what you did. That's for sure. Whether or not it makes it to the server at this second, that's the only thing. But right now, the app will retain your data no matter what.
I guess, yes. But I guess what I'm saying is that their system is very robust in terms of if you've got your phone here. I just did this the other day. You got your phone and you synced it, and then you're on the web app, and you did something to it, and then you synced it again on your phone. It updates on the phone. It'll update the app, and I'm like, they never screw up. If they don't data conflicts, it seamlessly. It never erases stuff. It just there's never data corruption. That's what I'm saying, is that whatever they're doing here, I'm shocked at how well it works, because out of everything else, the complaints I've never actually had something corrupted on it where it's something, right. If you take backup software for your hard drive and all that, I mean, there are conceivable cases where something will conflict and crash and all that. And this, I don't know, if you get it to act like Spectora in that respect, I'm totally cool with it. It's just
absolutely
okay. Sorry to keep interrupting you.
No, that's okay. You're not. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You were talking about the mobile app.
I was going to show you. The thing I wanted to show you on the mobile app is really cool. I've put a lot of work into the camera. So one thing I'll just kind of show you. I'll update. I'll just throw in a photo here. And then, so we've got like a simplified controls, right? So this is my camera, this is my phone gallery, and this is an app gallery. We don't save everything to your phone gallery. Everything stays in the app. It's all in an app gallery. And the reason I did that is just because I use my own personal device, for inspecting, and I hate having 8 jillion house photos in all of my personal photos. So I just I just made it so that everything stays in the app. And we've got, but you can obviously access the phone gallery if you have stuff in there. Okay.
Cool.
And then, so here, I'll just kind of do what I was going to do if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I'm going to go outside and I'm going to show you kind of how I typically kind of go about my day.
Hey, Daylan, I'm gonna grab something real quick, and I'll be back in like 15 seconds. Is that cool?
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
I'll grab some water myself.
Okay, I'm back. Thank you. Sorry about that.
No worries, Todd.
Okay.
All right, so I'm just dropping in. So, this is a commercial building. I'm gonna say it's unfurnished, and you can see all of these, these boxes checking on the screen, correct?
Yes, I can. I just muted myself. Sorry.
All right. So there's my information section. Go ahead and let me go ahead and do the outdoor here real quick. So one thing I was going to tell you, so I've got the camera essentially in 3 different locations. You've got the camera on the comment level, right? I can click on the camera in the comment. I can leave that camera open, and I can open another camera in the tray. You see that? And that tray camera dumps all of its photos directly into the gallery. All right. So if I were to just take a picture, and we have a true, like a true multi-shot camera in here. And it works just like your stock camera. So let's say exterior photos. I have one little section that I dump all of my photos into. And so I have that. This is like my CYA stuff, if I'm just being descriptive. So I'm going to take a photo, and I usually just kind of go down, take picture after picture. And then say you want to take a video, just push and hold, and you can take a video. If you want to zoom in,
that's slick, really slick.
Just slide your finger up on the screen, and you can zoom in. So then I want to take another picture. Just start taking pictures. I want to take a video. Just push and hold. Start taking another video, and everything goes down here in this little tray. Okay. So you can see there's the ones that are annotated as a video, and ones that then if it doesn't have that, it's a photo. Say I want to, so I'm going to go ahead and just save all those into the comment. You can see now, instead of in Spectora, if you want to go into those photos, you got to go into the comment. Here we just have them in display. You can scroll across, and now if I want to, I can go in and edit that photo.
Oh, that is so slick, man.
Now, if let's say I want, I've got some, a bunch of water damage up here. So I'm going to go ahead and search. Let's go. My speech to text works really great. water damage. So let's go moderate damage. So you can zoom in, take a picture. I can jump into the tray here and edit it right in. So I can drop, just drop on a square like so. You can't, they're difficult to see, but there are controls. Really fixing this up as well. There are controls for undo, redo, delete, all that, and select. So you want to, you can add text, crop, do all those, it has a lot of controls on the, in the editor that other softwares don't have. So I can change the color, hit done. And now you can see that one photo is annotated even in the tray. I'll hit save. And then you can see, it's not saved video, that was weird. Okay. But you can see it saved that annotated photo into the comment. I want to see why it didn't do the video though. Let's go ahead and try the video. Okay. Well, for some reason it didn't save I won't save the video on the comment. But we'll get that sorted out. You can see here's the app gallery. You can select all those in here. If in the gallery itself, if you go to the gallery on the bottom tray, you can actually select used and unused photos. If they're not, you can filter and it'll show you pictures you haven't even put in there. So like I was saying, though, you can actually, this is kind of a cool thing. Like I said, I have a CYA or a camera, open where I'm just documenting things. Then I can I can have this camera where I can just do, gallery stuff. Then there's a sneaky way to get a third camera even if you want. So if you go to, we have a dedicated review section in the app itself. Or in the report writer itself, so you don't have to go back out to the detail like you do in other software. So you can go in here to the review section and you can see what you've inputted into the report. You can also filter it by flag, whether it's some summary, if it's missing, like if there's comments that are required that are missing, you can select those. So go through, you have those different filters. Then also search here. We see, and so now I can actually go ahead and just take another photo. And I still haven't even left the camera for my documentation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's really cool.
So that's kind of where one of the biggest things that's in there is is the camera functionality. I put a lot of work into that. There's also, in the app itself, there's so many things that you can do that you can't do in other softwares. And like the template control, you can actually move things within move things within the template in the app. You can save new comments to the template. You can edit comments, save it to the template. You can add default images in the app. So say you were to take a photo of a anti-tip device and save that as your default in the app instead of having to do it on the web. So there's a lot of additional controls within the app that you don't have anywhere else. Another cool thing, and this is what I was going to show you. Like, so say again, like we're doing the attic area, right? And agent calls us and wants to schedule an inspection. Just push and hold on the logo, and you get this little sub menu that pops up. And so you can go in and schedule a new inspection. Oh, I gotta fix this link that it's going to. But this is supposed to load our this loads the new appointment button, basically this modal that pops up here.
That's cool.
And you never left your place on the inspection.
That's slick.
Same thing, you can do there's a lot of functionality right here. If you wanted to jump back to the appointment detail, you can do that. The dashboard, things like that. And then kind of one last thing, the notes area here on each inspection. You can write notes when you're in the report. So I can say, this place is rough. Or I could say, remember to tell the office gal to charge them for a ReportON monitor. And I hit submit. And then when I sync that, you won't be able to see it on the back end at this moment because they don't show up on the appointment detail page because he hasn't gotten to that point of the refactor. But when I sync that, these notes would show up on the appointment detail page, and then you can actually even check them to like delineate, are they finished or not, or whatever you wanted, that checkbox to mean, and that syncs between them.
That's cool.
It's handy. It's going to get way, way better. I've got a lot of plans, but you can see now those notes also show up here in the appointment detail page. On the appointment detail page, you can, do whatever you need to. If you need to take a payment from a client, just tap on that, put in their payment stuff. If they need to sign the agreement, same story. They can sign it right here. Real easy. And then it'll, make it green. And then it shows up green on the dashboard as well. Oh, I haven't synced it yet. Sorry. So it's not live right now, but let's see, force sync. Do that. See what happens.
While it's doing that, what are you eventually going to have like integration with like Stripe or someone for credit card like Spectora does?
We do already.
Okay.
Yep.
Someone said that they do ACH, but I've never found that in there. I don't know if that's an advanced feature or what, but I don't
know how they do it either. So we are working with, have you ever heard of a company called Benchmark Payments?
I may have. I'm not sure.
They're going to be one of our partners. We're going to build a really cool payment system. So we'll have our own ReportON payments later in the summer. My Wi-Fi here, I have Starlink, and sometimes, like during the day, it's slow. And so I'm doing all this streaming right now and then trying to upload.
Yeah.
And it's slow. But
it was having trouble keeping up with you with your audio back when you were outside, and it was yeah, that's okay.
Oh, was it? Okay. Yeah.
I'm patient. I get it.
I appreciate it. I can go ahead and just stop it. And
do you have another report that you could pull up?
Sorry, they're bringing back a meter. It was lent to my mom.
Hey, I have a question for you real quick. So
sure.
I just bought one of these FLIR C5s that actually a homeowner had it and didn't want it. And I just noticed that it had a Bluetooth connectivity and stuff. And I suspect that you can connect these as another camera or something. Would your app allow you to use one of the spare cameras as another, like another video device that's linked to it? Because that would be
cool idea.
That would be Mongo, because now you could use let me expound on that. I've got building crawl space robots that have their own video feeds. I've got one over here. You can't see it, but it's got an infrared camera and a visual camera on it, and they both have video feeds and stuff, which you can get on the phone at some point. And I'm like, it would be great if reporting software would integrate with, a drone feed, or, just down the road, thinking big picture, to be able to take other input sources to be able to take snapshots. The DJI drone I'm using, it's its own system. It's well done, but it doesn't play with anything else. But this Crawlbot, I can make it do whatever I want. I'm designing it, and
right.
I got full control. But anyway, that just gave me the fact that you got these other cameras, you're like, ooh, that's scalable. You may be able to, select another source the way, iOS or Windows, we can select a webcam or any of these other sources to choose from. That, I don't know, something down the road to think of, because that would be really super slick. I mean, holy crap, you'd be so far ahead of everybody else that, I mean, that would be insanity.
That would be really cool. I agree.
Yeah. I mean, I try to talk to Jeff Bond over there with the inspect.com guy. And I was like, he did the Google glasses back when they first came out. He was a software guy, developer too. And we were geeking out on, it would be so cool to have the VR glasses and stuff to be able to, to integrate in. And I thought about
so much vision for that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I got ideas for it too. It's just, it takes writing a lot of code, and it's just the time factor. But
well, if I can get this, that's my goal, man, is to get this thing off the ground and start building the future. Because we've got details. My developers now, we have details for AI implementation.
Yeah, right.
The that did you see Pillar to Post's new report? They just came out with, it's like a Matterport essentially. I've been dreaming, that was I dreamt that up years ago.
Is it like an AI based thing that basically looks at pictures and figures out defects or something, or is it?
No. Do you know what Matterport is?
No.
Oh, okay. It's like where you can walk through the house. So it's like a 3D walkthrough of the house.
Oh yeah. Okay.
it's pretty cool. It's pretty snazzy. They did an all right job. So, but I've, like there's a lot of things once this snowball gets going and I've got users and all this stuff starts, the company starts making, money. I have every intention of developing really, really cool futuristic features. Because I've been staring at this software like you have for years and coming up with ideas every day. So would you? And I'm a nerd. Like,
yeah. Would you be What did you do before you were an inspector?
A lot of stuff. I've been a technician of sorts my whole life. Service industry, but right before I was a home inspector, I was a youth pastor, actually.
Awesome. We're the reason this is such a mess is I've got we're in our praise and worship band, and so that's what's getting ready for tomorrow morning.
Right on.
We're at Valley PCA here in Huntsville, Madison, and we're all church musicians in this family, and I'm also in charge of sound, so I'm just trying to juggle all this stuff, but it's I guess you know.
I totally know, man. That was exactly how it was at the church I was at. It was a little Methodist church, and I was the youth pastor / media guy / I sang in the I sang some Sundays. Like there was all sorts of stuff, many hats.
Are you still a UMC pastor, or is it?
No, no, I haven't done that once I started doing inspecting. That was kind of coming to a close. So,
I'm sorry to pry. I just it's
no.
It's nice background, and
I'm happy to talk about it. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, this looks really cool.
I was going to show you. So, like, here's the client agent view, right? And so I can go on here, and if I was as the client, hit check that box, and now you can see it's green on the website, and then you can see it also updated the icon right here. So this means published, this means paid for, this means agreement signed, and then this is downloaded to the device.
Okay.
And that's everywhere. It's all over the place in the software. You can see it here, dashboard. So it's all like quick information that I had them create these icons just so you can see stuff at a glance. I think that's kind of all I was going to go over today. I mean, actually a lot more than I was going to go over today, but I'm really glad you joined me, Todd.
Daylan, is there any way you can pull up the report real quickly?
Oh, sure. Let's see what it looks like. I don't know like what pictures actually came through, but this is your report, right? We got a full report. We got a summary report. This looks really good on mobile, by the way. Okay, so it did not upload any of the pictures or anything, except for it did this one, but it didn't get any of the other ones out yet. As the inspector, if you're on this side of it, obviously, or not as a client, but you can do quick edit stuff similar to Inspectora. So say you need to make a quick adjustment while you're in, you're looking at the report. You can click through. The PDFs do not work right at this time. That's going to be like one of the next big things we're going to do, and I'm actually we have to build almost a whole new generating system for them. So I'm actually just going to take a bunch of feedback from everybody and do it right, because I hate the PDFs everybody uses too.
Adobe, one thing I looked into is that they have a whole new generation of reporting of document generation tools, and one of them, and I don't remember the names, but it's like PDF on steroids, and it actually will pull up the most beautiful documents you've ever seen in your life. They actually have tabs on the right, and integrating the APIs for those tools. I mean, they have a learning curve, but you can make the most unbelievable documents at it, and it's really great for reports because you can organize it, and Adobe stuff, you can actually embed media in it. You can actually have videos embedded in PDFs or these new formats and stuff, but that's for the future. But it's there's some really cool stuff out there
that's what I want to do, because the PDFs are it's just such a bad, like everybody does it poorly, or to some degree. So there's so you get, you got all the controls over here. Publish. You can go back to the appointment details. You can edit the report. This will take you to that editor I showed you. Make it a sample report. Give it a name. And then, see if I can actually. Yeah, we have a preview report, option here, but these links, because the back end there's a lot of things that are disconnected at the moment, different APIs. These links are not working. But I wanted to show it to you on the web, or on the mobile. It's pretty cool. Anything else? Is there anything else that you have a question about that you haven't seen yet?
No, I do have a couple quick questions before I'm sure you've got stuff to do. And I've got songs to get ready for tomorrow. But, you know how that is. We also did it. Our previous church was a huge UMC church up in North Alabama, so it's in charge of sound and also contemporary worship for that too. And that was a couple questions for you for nuts and bolts. As far as I know, you are just probably now thinking about it, but your pricing, you going to be targeting about the same price point as Spectora, or trying to undercut them? Cheaper? Yeah, it is. It is pretty pricey.
So we have most of the features that Spectora Advanced has on the messaging side, or on the side. The thing we don't match them on, they have, right, with Spectora Advanced, you get a ton of business metrics. I don't have anything comparable to them in business metrics at this point. What I do have is the emailing and texting automation stuff. So I can go in here and set up all of the different messages, you can set parameters for them. If they're, oops, this one doesn't show up, but this one. So like this one goes out 10 minutes later, after the appointment is scheduled. You can go in and put in, all of these, all your different parameters and set up your different actions for inspections, whether they're texting, it's a text and email. This all works. I'm not going to charge. What I'm going to do is a little different than them. I'm going to have 2 different tiers. First one I'm going to have is called ReportON Focus. That one's going to be just the report writing, okay? And that's for people who use ISN or NXT, something like that. They have a different CRM, and they don't need to use our messaging platform. And then I'll have what I'm calling ReportON Connect, which will be everything. I'm not going to do the advanced stuff and like Spectora has it. What I am going to do though is have messaging bundles. So you'll get all of the features in the system that we come up with for that flat fee, but then we'll also have you can pretty accurately calculate how many messages a month you roughly will use. If I do, because you have a format of every inspection has 10 overall emails that go out over the course of the inspection, whether it's the scheduling, then the report, the delivery emails, and then the follow-up emails, and the same thing goes for texting. So then I average 50 inspections a month, and each inspection uses X amount of, so we'll be able to give people a little bit more of an a la carte experience instead of just having the Spectora the advanced route, or even with ISN where they charge you so much per inspection. I've never really liked it, so I just decided to be different.
Okay, that's reasonable. And your Kickstarter campaign, I guess you're going to fire that up to try to get you over the finish line. Is that?
Yeah. So that'll be live at the end of the week. So you'll be able to buy ReportON Focus for $42 a month is what it comes out to. And I've got different tiers, so you can buy from 6 months all the way up to 5 years, essentially. Actually, I even have I have a couple of unlimited. I have some unlimited or some lifetime membership ones, but they're it's $5,000. I just figured, why not? Somebody might want to do it. So.
Yeah, I thought the same thing, honestly, when I thought about the pricing. Now, can you send me the link to the Kickstarter once it comes up, and I can?
Oh,
I'm
absolutely.
Interested in it. So but that's
Absolutely.
for the reporting thing. So you're not going to be doing that for the messaging part of it for now, or the complete bundle.
I think what I'm probably going to do is have a stretch goal, because there is a little bit of work that needs to be done on all of the messaging stuff to make it reliable. And so I'm going to make that if I get this extra, once I get enough funding and I get the extra developer hired, then we can, I can put him on the task of getting the ReportON Connect going. Otherwise, the goal is ReportON Connect will be available in June. So at the very latest, that, like I was telling you, I think at the beginning, the middle of June is when all signs are pointing we should be ready for, public release with all of the features that we have now functional. The ReportON Focus, the report writing part of it, and integration with ISN and NXT, that'll be done in a couple of months. So we'll have the report writing done and the integrations with the other stuff done a little bit sooner, because it's easier with where we're at now. So
I was going to share you my screen. One thing that I never put a lot of interest in their business metrics, because from the very start, and I was going to share the screen with you. Can you see the spreadsheet?
Yep.
So this is my main spreadsheet. So I've got all my inspections in it. Basically all the data about it, and the hours, the distance, the size, everything that I could, and what I did about that is now you can create these cool charts for, how long it'd take you based off of the time and date. Look, as I got this one, as I got more experienced, it tells you how long I'm spending per inspection. As you can see, it got more consistent and goes down in time. And I actually trained a neural network based off of this. But the golden thing that I'd love to come out with is how, I get calls, Daylan, from people all the time. Hey, how much? I just want to quote for an inspection. I'm like, look, I don't quote just by square footage. I need to pull the property up on Zillow, take a look to see if it's a dump or not. If I'm going to be there for 8 hours or something ridiculous, I have to kind of form a mental picture of how many hours I'm going to be there. And I noticed that, like the deep learning, or basically using a neural network and stuff, looks at all these stats, and it's pulled out some interesting things. For instance, if there's a crawl space, which we have here, it tends to turn into a time sink. So what I really wanted to do is be able to push a button that says, okay, here's the property. This is how long it's going to take you to do it. So I don't have to, I can give people more accurate quotes, because I don't just take the square footage unless it's a new build. I do that purely by square footage, because I know exactly how long it's going to take me to do that house. But
sure.
I want to be able to give people an accurate quote without losing my shirt on pricing and stuff. So collecting this data, and honestly, I don't know what your integration is with Zillow and stuff, but in theory, you should be able to get all this and just save it. So I can do a lot more analysis with, like, here's my market share, that it comes out of that spreadsheet. So, I'm sitting in my market, and this is essential to know your market share. Like, I know how many inspections. Now, I don't expect ReportON to know this stuff, but this is what I can do. I know we will for sure.
So I know how many, from the realtor stats, how many homes were sold and all that, and I can tell how much of that market that I actually have. And
how often
over
are
time,
you updating this stuff?
I update this. My real estate association in Huntsville, that comes out monthly. So every time I get one, I just type the data in, and then the quarterly stuff comes out once a year, and I put that in there, which should mirror this. But what's important is that, you don't want to be seeing a drop in your market share, which indicates a problem. Either you're sucking or you got competition coming in. But it's just helpful to know, like, whoops, what happened here? Well, there's an explanation for this, because I changed my business address and it shifted westward away from this area. So I do expect it to drop in this market. But this one, you can see this went way up to account for that. But I don't know. I guess where I'm going with this is, you don't know me from Adam, but down the road, as you're thinking all these huge, big picture ideas, Google Glass and integration, keep me in mind. I'd love to work with you, and maybe I don't have a lot of bandwidth as a developer writing code. Although, believe me, I would love to have half a day free to do that. That's actually why I got into this. I wanted to do robotics half-time and do this half-time to support that. Because I got 30 years of designing computers and stuff, but I love coding, and I got so many ideas about how to make this inspection stuff better. And, the whole augmented and virtual reality stuff, there's so much cool stuff we could be doing.
So much cool stuff.
Yeah. And
really, seriously, I got so many ideas. I think you probably have already thought of a bunch of them, and just how to make that a reality. I'd love to work with someone that, or contribute, or even if it's just money. I'm more than happy to contribute to your Kickstarter to get you going. It's an investment in myself, because I love what I'm seeing, dude. It's incredible. I mean, you've done an amazing job here. It's, like anything else, getting out the field, I'm sure there's going to be bugs and stuff that, but you're probably using this. Or you're still using Spectora, I guess. But
yeah, I am. I probably have another month or so before I can use it myself.
So you're going to beta
because
test
of the, and it's, yeah, and it's all, it's not because, like, as you can see, everything is there. It's just the reliability, right? I'm running a business. I can't just beta test, I can't beta test on my business. So that's the thing. Yeah, I used to have, I had my home inspection company did really well for me. I was super blessed. Very good, very big success. And I had other inspectors at one time. And so I love this industry very much. And this actually, just came out of my desire to help more people than what I was just doing, so because I see how much of a time suck software can become, and I hate staring at my phone. I really do. And so that's my whole goal with all this, and I think you can tell is that I'm trying to minimize the amount of time that we're staring at these devices and get our, so we can get our job done more efficiently.
Yeah. Oh, hats off to you. Yeah, it looks awesome, and I'm super stoked about it. That's you. The feature set that you've shown me, especially with the templates, is I'm. Once you get the reliability there, I'm sold on that. That is really cool. I would please take a look at that template that I sent you, the report, and consider some of that, because that didn't just come out of just one guy. That got shaped from basically, real estate, from feedback from other agents and stuff, and the ones that have stuck with me and used me. And it's interesting, a lot of them had management background, or they were professionals before they came into it, where some of the others are just literally like, I can't do anything else, I'm going to be an agent. And they're a headache to deal with, the type. But the ones that are successful, but they manage stores, or they're the
Right.
ones that refer me out. And he's like, that summary thing, the way that you present that, is no one else is doing it, and it makes my life so much better. And what I was trying to explain before is that agents were complaining about Spectora. I can't believe this, but they would be like, when you do the summary, and they would just have the observations there with, roof defect and then a picture. She goes, I don't want to scroll through all that. I just need to know what's wrong. And I'm like, oh, okay, you've got to do something. You're going to have to do something. So, basically,
you got to do your job, people.
Yeah. So basically, I got manipulated into providing people a short list of one sentence things like that. And I found that works, at least in my market, works incredibly
I think it's pretty
well.
Cool. And I like it. I think it's cool. And so give me just real quick. Are you just manually going in and copying and pasting those, the text, the 2.2 whatever text into the beginning? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah. Let me show you what,
okay.
Can I show you for a second, or you need to
Sure.
go? Okay.
Nope.
1 second. Let me bring up. Okay. So there's Spectora. You can see that, right?
No, for some reason I can't. I got like an infinity mirror for some reason.
Okay, so you can't see that. Oh, I'm sorry. I know why. Okay, how about that? Okay, yep. So, I'm in a template here. Let me pull this up really quick. Okay, here
How many
was
inspections are you doing a month?
I'm averaging something like 10 a week or 8 a week or something like that. I try not to be, when I go.
Well, I lost you.
Over 2 a day. I really don't like to do more than 10 a day. I'm sorry, 10 a week, but you know, a house like this is a new build. I can get through that in 2.5 hours. You could do 3 or 4 a day, but
no way. That's too much.
It's
I
too
agree
much.
with you. Two
Yeah.
a day is perfect.
Honestly, work-life balance, having one of these just once a day. Look at this. This is $508. Okay, so you're done.
Wow.
This is 2 hours worth of work. It's $385, and then, you know, now that rate on gas, that was half price. It would have been twice that. I accidentally set it up when she didn't want it, and I had to talk her into paying me for it. But you know, this is a good day's work for a couple of hours. You know, I mean, I'm happy just doing that. But
you said earlier something that I hear quite frequently, but I don't have this issue, which is guys that say that they stay up till 11 o'clock at night finishing reports. Is that typical for you?
Oh no, the report takes me 10 minutes. I've got this down to.
Okay.
It's rare. You know, the only time it takes more is like, for instance, I found when I find a new defect that needs research. You know, a new NEC type of thing. No, I've got this down. The template takes care of the whole thing. I just spend 10 minutes per report. That honestly, Daylan. Okay, so what I do here is report tools, observations, cut and paste. Please do not throw any of that away. That's, you know, that's really useful stuff up here. Deficient, I select all. I did Control C. Bring up my Ultra Edit text editor. This is so ridiculous. I put little plus signs everywhere because the stupid expanding boxes that don't, you know, that fade off because people don't realize that I write a script to do this. I just haven't gotten around to it. But so I basically copy these. And this is so ridiculous, and how much, you know, and then I come into header text, and then I basically just paste it right here. Here's a summary. So, you know, this is a secret sauce that works really well for me. Then I also put this, I cut and paste this in the automated email that goes to the agent. So they actually have this, which they don't read, but so here's what basically.
I just figured out an easy way to do that. Even I bet.
What's that?
We could just make it a shortcode. So you could plug in a shortcode into the header that just, if you wanted, would take all the summary items and plug that text in. It's, you know, it's obviously something we'd have to create, but it would be a very simple thing to do.
Well, having the option to do something like this would be really powerful. And I mean, what I'm actually, you know, I was dabbling in writing a book or something like that, but I personally really love what I'm doing here. And I'm not saying that, I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything. But I'm up with, and my stuff really sucked at one time. Then a senior manager at Boeing that was a client of mine, next door neighbor, said, "Dude, I don't like your reports. I mean, you need to really work on the verbiage on that." And I went back and redid every one of these, 2,500 of them, and this is all you need to know, really. Event back. This is not installed properly. Should be corrected or replaced.
And then I called mine in the beginning like a common sense report because they were just very short descriptions.
Yeah. but I mean, I want the ability to basically do something like this, and then what I do, Daylan, is like moisture damage was noted. Correction of the cause is recommended. Then I'll come in here in italics. I'll say specific notes. You know, blah 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 blah, and I'll do this at home because I use the flag.
Oh yeah, to tell yourself what you need to.
Holy crap, I use that all the time, and having that, so I come back with the flag things, and I will put notes in there, which I know that you've got the note idea, which is cool too. You know, maybe, but
you can edit the text on the comments and stuff as well.
Yeah, but you kind of see the way that I.
Mm-hmm. So how when you get home, how much work do you have on the reports when you get home?
Very little. It takes me
all right.
on average. Yeah. So basically, when I get here, and the only time it really takes is going through any of the flagged items and putting notes in it. That's it. If there's no flagged items, I am literally hitting preview, publish, going through to make sure I don't have any boo-boos or anything stupid glaring, and that's it. It's gone. I spend very little time. The problem is all the back end stuff that I do. I got to type every one of these into the spreadsheet. I track my mileage. I've got to call clients and set up inspections, which takes a long time, a lot of hand holding. Then I have to call. I don't allow clients to follow me around anymore.
Me neither.
I basically don't allow anybody at my inspections when I can avoid it. So what I do is let them see the report, set up a time, and we review together over the phone. And I find, people are like, oh, I want to be there. I was like, you can't see anything in the crawl space, the attic, or the roof anyway. You're just listening to me describe something. What's the point of you being there? It's not, you're not gaining anything. But when you can see these pictures and we're walking through it together, you've already had a chance to read this, and people are like, yeah, that's. So I got more Google reviews since I quit bringing people on the inspections. So I've got more 5-star reviews than anybody in my market right now. I'm like pushing 300, and I don't have anything less than 5 stars. And it's just this works. It just does, and it's I don't know, but I love this. I just have a very satisfied, it's not a pride feeling, but it's a very satisfied, like, I know that this is some of the original. I imported Ben Gromiko's Internachi thing, and I'm still trying to delete. I was like, I can't believe that guy's an inspector. I honestly can't. It's like his grammar, seriously. Anyway, but I don't know. I'm just very happy with what I came up with here.
It is a thing. I think it is a thing of pride. Your report becomes, almost like a friend. I've told people, my report has done both, protected me, when clients come at me and say, hey, you did X or X, or, the report says, nope. He did tell you. It's right there on page something or other, and you just didn't read it. But I've also had my report bite me in the butt where, a client says, hey, you didn't do this. And I look at the photos in the report and I'm like, shoot, you're right. But it keeps, it's my, I consider it like a friend. It keeps me, keeps me honest, and also provides protection most of the time. But, I totally get it, man. It's a labor of love, and I love this profession because all the help that we provide to people that they don't even have a clue unless we tell them.
Yeah. Well, that was maybe as this takes off, I suspect you'll poach a lot of Spectoris people, and they have a subscriber base and several $6 million a year or something. It's in the millions, but I know that
way more than that. Those guys,
Well,
they're at almost like 10,000 users, I think.
oh, it's that many. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
they've got a lot of users now.
Well, they also got a
But
lot of
it's because they're the only. Yeah, they've got. They really don't even have that many people on staff, honestly, these days. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they run a very lean ship, and it's good, you know. As far as their goals are concerned, I just have different goals because this software is actually, you'll see, it's like, it doesn't say inspection anywhere in it. It's all appointment based because this software is applicable to many other service industries. So I 100% intend on, like, you know, marketing it to other industries where we can be helpful there too.
That's cool.
I'm going to be implementing all of the tools you need for termite. We're going to be building in a PDF builder so that you can go in and add in your own PDF into the system, and then tell it what fields you want to be able to edit, and then those will load in as reports, and you can just, you know, fill in forms and things right there, you know, in the report writers on the app as well.
Cool. Wow, you got a lot of great ideas.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it for a long enough, you know. It just, now that I can, you know, I have something to play with, there's no reason not to on any of it. It's just because, I mean, I was told no far too many times as well by you know, what I felt was just lack of vision. It wasn't because it was impossible or whatever. It was just lack of vision for what you know, what not only what was possible, but what was going to be beneficial to the most amount of users. And so this is not just my baby either, as much as, you know, I it's mine. But I don't know if you 4 years you've been using Spectora, you probably remember the good old days when the Spectora user group was like this really cool place where everybody just got along, and there was a really great community that, you know, I just don't feel like it's very censored these days. I want to have that same culture again where we're all helping each other, and like where we reward people for giving us really, you know, useful ideas, because I always felt very underappreciated with all of the feedback and ideas and the work that I put into helping those guys develop the system that they built. And, you know, like, I don't want anybody to ever feel that way about ReportON.
Yeah, I mean, I thought through that process too, and if I felt like if I'm integrating something into the software, I was like, hey, dude, you just got 6 free months worth of, you know, or I'm, you know, or somebody does something ridiculously over the top. It's like, oh, that's transformational, dude. I'm giving you a year. I'm giving you a year of this, or, you know, look, I mean, I get it. You know, I agree with you that at some point they get big enough that they have to control the brand, and they don't want somebody spouting off destroying them. And I get that too, but
it's just a different, you know, it's all just different business practices, right? You handle your clients different than I handle mine, and vice versa. And I don't fault them for the way they run their business at all. As far, you know, it's their choices, and I think they, you know, for the most part, they do a good job. They do what, you know, a better job than anybody else out there. I'll say that.
Yeah, and I noticed they've ramped up their service. They are very, very responsive now, and very careful not to blow you off and stuff like that. They've really hammered that. But it's one thing to say, I'm here for you, I'm here to help, but they don't actually have the ability to help, because we're going to pass that on to our developers, where it's going to sit in the priority queue. And they, you know, the thing is, I look at this as, it's not a serious reporting tool. It really isn't. It's not a professional grade. It looks pretty. And what drew me in is the web interface. The UI looks pretty, but behind the scenes, you click on the
Yeah.
information tab, and the formatting, it's such a jumble of crap that it doesn't look, it appeals to millennials, I think, or, a certain generation, but it's not a formal professional grade document, especially not the PDF. And the template, which you have already fixed some of those problems, that's not a professional grade. You fixed it. It's, having a template of templates, basically, that's what you've done. But I don't want to have to replicate a roof comment in 5 different places. That's insanity. You can't do that. I mean, it's, it's dumb.
I agree. I was in a meeting. I don't, I really try. I think you hopefully noticed I try to avoid talking directly about like Spector or anybody else, for that matter. But I've been in meetings, with big multi-inspector companies asking for that feature alone. Like, give us a way to, basically separate our deficiency comments from our templates. So that way, we can manage those easier. And we were just flat out told, no, that's impossible. And I was like, there's nothing impossible in software. It's just a matter of whether you really want to do it or not. And so when that was like kind of a tipping point, I was like, oh, well, clearly, just alignment on priorities makes a huge difference. So, I've got a lot of different ideas on how to get community engagement. I've even considered this having a system similar to Kickstarter, where, if you have an idea that you want made, you want this in the software, put it up there, and everybody votes with $1. And so if you want that if you're like, hey, I like that idea, you throw $1 at it, and as the amounts go up, well, then the things get developed, and then that money goes towards bonusing the developer who developed it. You know what I'm saying? So like
that's clever. Yeah.
So incentivizing everybody, but also making it so that you can't just be a keyboard warrior saying, my feature never got developed. Well, you weren't even willing to invest anything in it. So it's like,
yeah,
so just, I love being creative with blessing people and making people feel, good about being part of the community. That's like half the fun for me.
Yeah. And
that's probably the youth pastor in me, is like, how do you get people excited and keep them engaged?
Yeah, that's a ministry in itself, and that's why it is. It's just a special talent and blend of things required to do that. I mean, we've raised a kid through church, and she's in college now, but trying to keep them engaged and stuff. I know, I get it. It's hard. Do you have kids? Or?
Yeah, I got 2 kids. I just had one. My oldest just turned 18. She moved out a few months ago. So, and then I have a 14-year-old, 2 daughters.
2 daughters. So, boy, yeah.
You see all this gray? I'm only 42, man.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah, we've got a handful. I get it. Yeah, I've been there. But that's pretty exciting stuff. I'm stoked, and I'm definitely going to jump on your Kickstarter thing, and I'm looking forward down the road once you start rolling this out. I'd be even willing, once it gets to a certain level of stability where you're comfortable with it. I don't mind doing one inspection a week with it or something like that, as long as we don't lose data and I can give you feedback on it. Where Spectora X, I'm peeved because they were using us as guinea pigs with it, even though it is in beta, and they're pushing. I'm like, you're not really doing your job with this. You should be going out and doing this yourself instead of putting it on us. But
that app is that's one thing I cannot say is I don't know what they're thinking with that app. it's not better than what their old app.
Yeah. Well, the problem is they're switching languages and platforms, and they're upgrade. You know, it's built on the infrastructure.
They're building it on what I'm built on now.
And what was the name of that?
React. It's React Native. So you got React and React Native.
So what kind of that's its own language, or is it a IDE, or what is that? Is it?
Yeah, it's its own language. I mean, you've still got all like, you know, Java and all that stuff like mixed in with it, but React is the
okay.
Yeah, we're going to be we're going to be doing another big update. It's going to be probably midsummer though when we get to it, as far as the platform that we run on, or the it's like, from what they explained it to me, my developers say is that it's basically the heart of the system, and we're gonna put in literally like the most current technology that so we were gonna do it a couple months ago, but it was like, that's gonna be more work than I can afford right now. So
yeah,
I had to put a pause on it.
So that it's an interesting point though. The one thing that they do have enough people at Spectora where they can beta test. I know in-house they've got a whole bunch of smartphones. You know, they've got Android. You know, a whole bunch of different models. They've got different iOSs, so they can actually play with it. And you know, you're going to be running into that where people are going to be peppering you with, hey, my smartphone 6 it's the text is cut off on it, but my smartphone 7 is fine. You know, it's
right. Man, if I showed you all the phones, the one phone that I want to be able to get ReportON to run on. Let me see if I can find it. I had it around here somewhere. Oh, here it is. Have you seen these? They're the cat phones that have a FLIR camera built right into them.
Oh, I've heard about those. That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. The problem is the processor in them is kind of weak. But they have a newer version, even newer than this one, that supposedly has a better processor in it. So I've thought about, like, man, that would be an incredible inspection device.
Yeah.
If you could run you run your inspection software on that, and then you could, you know, be able to use the thermal imaging right there on the same device. It would be super cool.
Well, like I said, I just got this and I haven't read the manual for it. This is the C5, and it said it's got I just connected it to the phone through Wi-Fi, and I'm like, what's the Wi-Fi connection for? So I'm assuming that you can see it on here.
Yeah,
they're
pretty simple to set up.
I'm just wondering if you could use that as a second camera source or something. You know, it's not as great. It's not as slick as what you're doing with the cat phone, but I mean, it's something.
Yeah, I'm sure you could do either or. You could I'm sure we could figure it out at some point, whether, you know, it's just a matter of it becoming, you know, we have the resources to dedicate to it, because I love the idea. I really do. I'm all for like hardware integration. This is the beginning. I have every intention of making this an enterprise level software where we deeply integrate with the OSs, so that you get notifications through it. You can do all kinds of things like through your system trays, you know, instead of it just being an app.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of
that smartphone thing. By the way, there's I actually had it installed in here. There is commercial software out there that does that cross-platform checking for you in development. And a couple of them, like they do like several thousand different phones all at once and stuff. So there are developer apps. Yeah, there are developer apps that are designed for that problem. Is, you know, making sure that your code base looks and acts the same over all these different. That stuff's out there. I mean, people use it all the time, but I can't remember the name of it. I deleted it.
Yeah, we're going to be implementing anything that is beneficial to stability, to speed, to, just like general efficiency. Like I mentioned earlier, one of my largest goals, and is, I would even say, is a core value, that before we implement a feature, does it save time? Because I see so much area in the inspection process that could be, with software could do that job, that a person's doing, and do it faster and more efficiently. Now that we've got AI and stuff, and the cameras in the phones are amazing, technology has caught up and made it to where inspection software could be, really automated.
So, not to keep you any longer, but you brought up a really good point. So I got a call. I had mentored a guy, another inspector, and he was telling me, called me one time. He says, these inspections are taking me too long. What am I doing wrong? And I said, well, it's going to get better as you get more comfortable with it. But I said that you need to look at your workflow. Every second that you're taking to do something adds up. And, for instance, if you're testing the ACIs, AFCIs or something, you need to minimize the amount of time you're walking back and forth. You need to do things, think through what's taking time, along those lines. So,
oh, I lost you.
Hello?
Oh, there we go. I heard you say along those lines, and then I lost you.
Yeah. Every fraction of a second that we spend on an observation or whatever, it multiplies out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's like next gen, for instance. I was explaining, when you pulled up the camera, the native camera had about a 300 millisecond delay, 400 millisecond delay to it wasn't super fast. And I told them, okay, that may be insignificant to you, but if I have to bring that camera up 200 or 300 times in an inspection, think about the time. And
turns into minutes.
Yeah, an example, like when I get into the reports, and they've got nothing's been checked on this checklist, for instance. And like, I come in here for like interior. Can you see the phone?
Yes, I can now. Pull it up a little bit higher, actually. There you go.
So, we've got, when you get this for the first time, these are all blank. Nothing's been checked.
Correct.
So I come in for the interior. The first thing I do before I get to the inspection is just check all the I just say green inspected, because I don't need a checklist to remind me to check the bathroom. I don't care about all that. There are certain things I want to leave unchecked to make sure I remember to do it. But there's some manual steps to this, that populating these fields, for instance, every slight delay it takes to do any of this over the course of, an entire inspection, this is what adds 15, 20, 30 minutes. And and people don't realize those little
30 minutes turns in times 2 that's an hour, man. That's an hour a day.
So, making things extremely fast and minimize it, and being able to customize this and stuff, I don't know. You're an inspector, you get it.
I do get it. I honestly, I really do. And that, again, is one of the reasons why I'm here. Even though my system, what I have in front of me is not like it's not exactly what I want, and it's not, some of it isn't fast. Like even my camera, I bring up the camera on mine, and it's also got a delay, but I could show you, you see it's not immediately coming up, but I can show you the messages I sent to my developer saying, bro, we got to fix this. I do not like having to wait. And he's like, well, it's not that long. And I'm like, yes, it is. Because you're not opening the camera, like you said, 300 times or 200 times. That's again why I made that multi-shot camera and made it so that you don't have to go out and use a separate camera for video. You don't have to go to a separate gallery for video. I started to streamline some of that stuff so you can do things, multiple tasks in one area. Because every button press, every screen load, every single thing, like you put it perfectly, every 300 milliseconds adds up to 20 extra minutes per inspection.
That's right. And but where I was going with that whole camera integration thing is that kind of got me thinking, you've added those other camera sources, other cameras, and keeping that concept going. One thing I did, I bought a head-mounted camera online. It's got a gyro in it and all that, and I experimented with it, and it comes with a little Bluetooth bracelet, so you can press the button and take pictures, and it also will take video. And it actually works pretty well. It even does night shots and stuff. But if you're in an attic or a crawl space, instead of digging out the phone, you can actually just use the head camera. And
that's snazzy.
Like 4K, and I don't use it often because it's one more thing that I have to take at the end of the inspection, connect with a USB cable, dump another set of pictures along with my phone pictures, because I archive everything. I save it off to OneDrive and then a hard drive. I don't trust Spectora. I have my own archive, and then I zip it up, and I have a hard drive filled with these things. Well, having that head-mounted camera, it also has Wi-Fi connection. You can stream. So, down the road, having another stream source where you're like, select head camera and just grab a snapshot from it. I mean, holy
I don't
smoke.
see any reason why we couldn't add an option to do that, to connect to a Bluetooth camera. That's totally makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, down the road, and who knows, maybe I could go off and try to subdevelop something like that, find it's just something that I'm got a huge interest in, just writing a section of code for it. I don't know. I would love to do that and get it to work. The way that stuff works is that you package things up so it has its own little API, and then you call it, and it's a subsystem that's already robust, and that's how it works. I mean, that's how I did my job. But I'm blabbering. I didn't mean to keep you so long. I know your patience has been tried by all.
I appreciate it, man. I do. I appreciate the conversation. You're literally not the first person I've talked to about ReportON, because I've actually gone to a couple of trade shows and done it there, demoed it there. But I'm making the final push here, and so you're the first person. And you had lots of great feedback. You're more technical than most people, which is what I'm looking for. So thank you for popping in, Todd. It really was a treat.
I can't believe the timing of that, because I was waking up from a nap and I'm scrolling through Facebook and wasting time instead of getting up and doing other things. And literally, you came up in this, and it said, I'm going to be doing a live stream. And I was like, well, I just kept scrolling, because I'm like, I don't know when that is. There's no way. And it just happened to be, it's like the coincidence. I mean, that was like,
it wasn't, and you didn't even pop in. I wasn't even going to be doing a live stream at that time. I did it at 10 this morning, and then I'm doing another one at 2 tomorrow. So I was literally just goofing around. I was going to do a recording. And I'm so glad you popped in. It truly was a blessing.
Well, there's no coincidences with the Lord, is there?
No.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm so impressed. I mean, hats off to you, man. I'm proud of you. That's an incredible achievement, what you've done there. That's wow. I was like, see, somebody.
It's been a
somebody
heck of a journey, man.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I want to do, I'd love to do like just a big Q&A once I kind of get some steam going and get everybody involved, because it's been a journey, and it's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of fun that goes into building this software for the future. And because I have a design team that I'm already like have started working with, so they're going to be taking what you see, putting it into storyboards, fleshing it all out, like to where, and then we're going to have actual users that will be part of our design phase beta group, and the designers they're going to actually meet with them without even, I won't even be there, and they'll get totally unbiased feedback. They're going to be going through and applying all the heuristic rules to the app, to the desktop, so that things make sense, that buttons make sense. I'm not attacking this from just, I'm an inspector and I like to, I want to make a better app standpoint. I'm really coming at this from, I want to build something that's Google and Apple level software. I want to build enterprise level service industry software.
I see where you're going with that, and that is a good idea. And what I like here is that at the end of the day, you're the one that's going to be going out with your own software. And if it doesn't pass the test or something, that's a difference between some of the, with Spectora, for instance, like that. Kevin's not going out in the field with this thing. And, maybe he is, but he's not using it like we are day to day. They're relying on our feedback, and which is,
Kevin and Michael told me, I saw them in Vegas in October, and they told me, they said, man, they actually were really cool. They wished me nothing but the best and everything. And they said, if they can help me in any way, they're totally into it. But they also said, Daylan, you have an advantage that we could never have. And that I do recognize that as a really big strength. I also recognize the fact that, I see individuals like yourself. There's so many guys out there, people out there in the inspection industry that have phenomenal ideas, and also that are just generally helpful people. And I want to reward that. I want to reward that, with not, there's no reason not to. It's just build, make people feel good about their energy that they put into something that's not even theirs, like technically. So, because I was that guy for years. I am a consummate beta tester. I love new features, and and with Spectora, they have bit me in the butt time and time again. But I was happy to do it because they were evolving the software according to what I said, according to my feedback. Well, then that unfortunately stopped because they grew. And, I'm not the kind of guy who likes to be forgotten. So.
Yeah. They probably didn't do a good job with separation of things. They've got CRM, they've got, business metrics, which are not all that useful. At the end of the day, I really need the reporting stuff to be rock solid. And then the other stuff is nice, but it's different priorities. They should have really, had isolated silos where that stuff, because, we have a new feature set, and it's like the agent related. I was like, I don't care about that. I want this to be able to write the best possible reports really fast. And, the other stuff is nice, but I can find workarounds from that. If I have to, I can use other software if I have to.
Right.
If I have to manually send an email to somebody, I'm going to just do it, or I'll use,
well, not everybody's like you, Todd.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying that you do what you got to do. And I, at the end of the day, the report is the most important thing.
I agree.
And
I agree.
I
That's what we're here for anyway.
I love those other features and I use them. I'm just saying in terms of priority, if the PDF looks like crap, I don't want to be talking about mass email lists. I want the PDF thing to be fixed because that's a day-to-day, I guess what I'm saying is their focus sometimes doesn't seem to be in alignment with my focus. It's, but I understand it's based off of all their general population. I get it. That's fine, but
and I fully anticipate running into those same problems at some point. How do you keep a huge user base happy? It's difficult, but we'll face all that when we get there, and I'm not really worried about it. I just know it'll happen.
Yeah.
We'll develop systems, we'll evolve, we'll create what we need to and just make it happen. That's my guarantee. For sure.
Cool. So your initial, you were saying it's like you're thinking $500 a year for the just the report part of it, or?
Yeah. So I've got right now. I'll tell you the tiers. $250 gets you 6 months. $500 gets you a year. $750 gets you a year and a half. $1,000 gets you 2 years. 2,000 gets you 5 years. 5,000 gets you a lifetime.
And does that include the messenger stuff that's going to be coming?
So those do not. I'm going to say at this time in my head, no. The report on focus doesn't have the messenger stuff. I am willing to adjust that though, because as you and I are chit chatting about it. We could, I'm sure that there's something that we could sort out. And if you were like, hey man, I really want to join the Kickstarter. I just need a way. Kickstarter is my way for people to be able to give and get at the same time. Whereas my billing platform right now needs a little bit of work, and then I'm just charging people a monthly subscription, and that's not really like where we're at yet. So This is a way I'm looking for people where they can, like I said, they can contribute, and I'm going to be doing these types of videos constantly. Every week, my development team and I meet on Fridays. I'm going to be recording those videos and then doing a debrief, probably Saturday. I'm not exactly sure which day, if it's Saturday or Monday, but I'll be doing a debrief with users saying, hey, here's what we accomplished this week. This is where we're at. Get any feedback on it, and then pass that information along to the developers.
Well, you've got my email. Please keep me in the loop. I'd love to be, beta, to work with you and contribute to your Kickstarter. But I will say this though, that, Spectora is basically $9.89 for 2 years, and it includes, all that, everything that you get with that, except for the advanced, and you're talking $9.89 for 2 years, and they're basically the upper end of, that is expensive. It's a lot. And even though we're using it constantly, it's still expensive. And
it is. I can agree with you. If you were to, I think when I was rocking and rolling, like when
it wasn't $9.89, it was $1,500. It was $9.89 a year. Excuse me. Pardon me. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was just gonna say like when I was kicking butt, when business was booming and I had multiple guys working for me, I remember my Spectora bill plus advanced. I was spending like $400 a month, but it was totally worth it because we were killing it. But so it is expensive, and but it's all. I will say this: it's also not cheap to run all of these systems. I've learned. So that's the thing. These reports, they start to. You start throwing in pictures and videos, plus I'm making it easier to add pictures and videos than even they are. So imagine what people are going to start, they're going to start including more, right? I remember when Spectora started allowing you to use 360 photos. I went and bought 360 cameras, and all of my guys, we were including 360 photos of every house in the reports. You know, that kind of stuff just chews up data. So
yeah, I hear you.
But
that's awesome.
I have learned, I've realized that I don't have to charge, I don't have to be in that upper sphere right away. And if or ever, I don't know, but we can, at this point, I can be, much more affordable, and, and then as we improve the system, adjust pricing as needed. But where I'm at right now, the launch price is going to be $64 a month for ReportON Focus, and then ReportON Connect will probably be in that, around that $100 a month, which is what Spectora is at, and you'll get everything plus the advanced features essentially.
Sounds good to me. I can't wait to start, trying it out some, and I understand.
Next week.
Okay, cool. Keep me in the loop.
So the production site, the production site where, you'll be able to create an account and all that stuff will be up the end of next week.
Awesome. Well, I can't believe how appreciative I am just talking to you, and that's wow. I can already tell this is going to be a huge blessing. It's going to make life so much easier and better. I know it's going to be a slog. We still got a long way to go, but I'm having that, in the future,
absolutely.
Because
I'm client number one,
What's that?
I'm client number one. I'm chomping at the bit just to be able to get, be able to use it on the whole inspection. And that's like my dream right now.
Yeah. I mean, just my frustrations with Spectora, especially, the limitations, and I haven't apologized to this agent this week for, the page. She printed the PDF off and did a screenshot of how the text was falling off the page. It was literally a sentence. It was cut in half. And she was, I can't read this. And I was like, I had to open the chat bubble. I said, I've been complaining about this PDF stuff for years, and here's a picture of, and he traced it down to a system dialog that you actually have to scale the document down. And you're not going to believe this, but they replicated it on a Mac in-house. They go, we never knew this was happening. I was like, yeah, I've been complaining about this for years. These agents are actually using this PDF. And Kevin's like, no one's using it because our statistics say no one's printing it out. And he showed me the statistics. I was like, well, that's fine, but we've got what, 70, 90 inspectors in this market here, and it's not a major city, but everyone's doing the PDFs. And I said, this stuff has to look better, and even the web reports are, I don't like the way it's laid out. I mean, at first it's fine, but when you click on the tab and the way that the grid organizes like that needs to improve. And I'm sorry. I'm frustrated because I don't have the time to write this from scratch. And I started, there are some app building tools out there that can make it easier, but like anything else, it just takes time, and I don't have that time.
I barely have enough time to do what I'm doing.
No. I mean, I can barely get continuing education in and contributing to the business. It just doesn't happen. I'm just, exercises slipping, the read through the Bible in a year. I'm like already 3 chapters behind, it's just, but it's a good problem to have. It's because I'm busy, and we're blessed, and I'm not complaining, but, the software doesn't need to be contributing to that stress.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for talking with me. It's been, I don't normally blab so much. It's just, you can hear all the frustration.
It's very easy to do, man. I have several buddies that are inspectors. I got one that lives 30 minutes away, and another one that lives down in Phoenix, an hour away. And both of them started to use Inspectora because of me. And now, all of us kind of have our little gripes and our little bitches that we, throw out there about it all the time. And they're in the same boat. They've been waiting for me to get this stinking software out for, 2 years now. And so I don't know. It's easy to complain, but I'd rather be the solution. That's my point. That's my whole point.
Yeah. Hats off to you. You did it. And that's, wow. That's a lot.
We're getting close.
Yeah.
Getting close.
And it's okay. I write code and I understand how long it takes, and demonstrating to people it's frustrating because okay, this doesn't work, but it will work. I get it. That doesn't bother me in the least. Other people are like,
yeah, see that. Thank you.
Yeah, you have to be used to, you got to be used to that. And it's like, as a developer, I completely have a different understanding of that than someone else. I mean, it's like, yeah, I understand it's going to be fine. I just, I see where it's going because you got the framework designed, and we're just looking at it from a different perspective because it's, I understand that, but writing, anyway, you've done your homework, so cool.
Well,
okay.
Definitely appreciate it, Todd. If you feel free to, if you like my page on Facebook, so that way you'll get updates whenever, because I'm going to be posting everything in there. And then I'm trying not to spam. Did you see the post I put in like one of the groups, like Inspector Brotherhood or something?
Honestly, I don't know. It popped up.
Just on your page?
It was almost like, like a feed or something that came up.
Oh, okay.
I don't. What's your page called?
ReportON. Just search for ReportON.
Oh, I found it. I'll go ahead. I'm following it now. Okay, I'm about to burst. I made the mistake of drinking too many of these and not getting up, so I'll let you go.
All right. Cool, Todd.
Hey, thanks so much for talking with you. It's nice to meet you, and I wish you the best, and I can't wait to contribute. So,
well, cool. And if you do get a chance, I would absolutely appreciate any kind of if you had anything to say, anything nice, ReportON and myself on any of the social media stuff, I would absolutely appreciate it. Only because I'm trying to get everybody to see that I am serious. I'm not just, and that we are the next option. We're not somebody who's talking about a software idea that's a year or two down the road. We're a few months away. So that's the message I'm trying to convey to everybody, is because there's all this exodus right now because of Porsche buying all this, inspection properties, and everybody's fleeing, HIP and home gauge and yada, yada, yada. So anyways, I appreciate that. Anything you could do just to, if you wouldn't mind.
I certainly will. I will start spreading the word. Well, have a blessed evening. It's great talking with you, and keep in touch.
All right, Todd. Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.